why is it so important for this safety?
Well, we've already had 7 drownings this year so far in 2015, and what we like to do is get out early and give these tips to the public so that we can either keep that number at 7 or have it decrease from last year's numbers, which was the high 20s. And then hopefully this will lead into next year, and this time next year we won't have 7 drownings, we'll have 0 in a perfect world.
And do you guys see more drownings like towards like when it's getting hot out, warmer? What is it? Is it usually like something in a boat or something someone swimming?
It changes every single year. Typically July and August are our busiest years because that's when the summer comes in, that's when the hot weather gets here. Excuse me, the kids are out of school and everybody starts swimming. As far as the locations, so far this year we've had a drowning in the ocean, pond, lake, river, and 2 young children in pools. So it's real important to get out and express the water safety tips to the public. Number one, and first and foremost, most important in my mind, is for people to get swimming lessons. You can't start your kids too young. I started my children when they were 3. My parents started me about when I was 3 or 4. It's extremely important, first of all, so that you can learn how to swim and self-rescue if you get into a situation. And number 2, if you learn how to swim at an early age, you'll become comfortable in the water. And then if you do get into a situation that could lead to a drowning, you tend not to panic. And panic is one of the major causes of drowning because people panic and they get into situations and make them even worse when they panic.
They use all their energy to try to get out of the situation.
Exactly. They use all their energy, they get overtired, and then they don't think clearly either. They don't think that, you know what, I can swim 5 feet and be in 4 feet of water because I fell off a little bit of a ledge, and stand up and I'll be fine. So that, you know, once that panic sets in, it makes it extremely difficult to self-rescue.
So what are you guys going to do specifically? I see the boats out there. Tell me what, you know, with the training, what is it that you're going to show us? Demonstrate to us.
Actually, we are not going to have any demonstrations today. We didn't prepare for that.
Okay.
We're pretty much just going to come out today and give as many tips as we can. Hopefully people will take those tips and walk away with them. The problem we usually find with demonstrations is we really can't demonstrate the safety tips. We can demonstrate a person drowning, but that is in our how we rescue, but that doesn't really help the public because they just watch us do what we do and what we're trained to do. And if they're not trained to do it, then it's just going to be something that they can watch, as opposed to really listening to our tips today and what we're explaining, trying to get through to them, how to self-rescue, how to keep yourself from getting in the bad situations, and how to keep yourself safe around the water.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, just wondering, drinking-wise related, like out on boats in the water, does that have anything to do with drownings that you saw last year or even this year? Absolutely.
We had several drownings last year where there was alcohol, and where alcohol was a part of the drowning where it could have been avoided. As far as boating safety, the captain of the boat is responsible for every party on that boat, whether he's operating the boat, sitting in the back of the boat, or swimming in the water next to the boat. That is a responsibility of the captain of the vessel. So if you're the owner of the vessel, you are the captain and you're responsible. Do not drink. We do see lots of problems with drinking and boating. In addition to that, swimming from a boat, it's important to know the situation you're in and the surroundings you're in. If you jump off a boat and try to swim and cool off, but there's a current and that boat's anchored, you could very quickly be 100, 200, 300 feet from the boat. If you don't have a life jacket with you or some sort of flotation, you can get in a very bad situation, especially trying to swim against a current to get back to that boat. So I urge everybody, if you're going to jump off a boat, it's fun, it's a great thing to do, but keep it safe. Bring a life jacket with you or bring some flotation with you, you know, whether it's a raft, something that you can hold on to if you get into a situation that will give the boat time to pull anchor and come and get you out of that situation.
Okay. And the numbers that you were giving, is it including all of Massachusetts? Over 20 last year and then 7 this year?
Yes,
is that all of Mass?
All of Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's correct.
And you said you're here giving tips today, so you said the rafts, swimming lessons. What other advice do you have for people?
Well, in addition to the swimming lessons, I urge everybody to swim in public areas that have a lifeguard. That's the most important. Even if you know how to swim, you can get into a tough situation. If there's a trained lifeguard on scene who is actually watching everybody in the water, it makes it that much safer for you. For parents who are bringing their kids to go swimming, same thing. Make sure there's a lifeguard. That's another set of eyes on your child. You're responsible for your child, but you're also going to have the lifeguard with a set of eyes on your child to keep them safe. Backyard pools. We've had 2 drownings in backyard pools this year, young children. Again, if you have a pool and there's not a fence around it that your child can access that pool, in the yard with them at all times. Anything can happen, and it happens fast. In addition to that, don't ever swim alone. If you're out with a group of people, know the swimming ability of everybody with you. Know if somebody's a trained lifeguard. If somebody with you is a trained lifeguard, explain to them if you're not a strong swimmer. Say, yeah, you know what, I'm not that strong of a swimmer. Can you kind of try to keep an eye on me? If you get into a situation where a friend of yours is getting into a bad situation, and this is very important, if you're not trained in rescue techniques and you go to try to help, there's a good chance we're going to end up with one victim turning into two. So what we stress is the reach, throw, row, go technique. If you can reach them from solid ground, if you're standing in 4 feet of water and they, again, slip off a rock in a quarry and go deep, if you can reach them and pull them in, do that. Don't go over your head after them. If you can get a stick or a branch or anything that floats, if you have a, you know, a gallon jug even of water that you have with you that you could dump out, recap and throw to them. Any little bit of flotation is going to help them. Something to throw to them, the gallon jug. Row, again, tough one, but if you're at the side of a pond and there's a boat, a rowboat, jump in it and row out to them. And then go is go for help. It's not go into the water after them, it's go for help. But in all these situations, immediately have somebody call 911 to get the police and fire on scene. The quicker they're there, the quicker a rescue can be made. So that's really important.
And numbers-wise, or not, like age-wise, does drowning affect all ages, or is it mostly kids that you see?
All age groups, every age group. And also to add to that, wherever you're going to go swimming, know the area. Know what your depth is, know what your bottom type is. We've had a lot of people jump into ponds and get hung up in the vegetation from the bottom. Just gets tied up in their feet, and they can't swim when their feet are tied up, and they end up drowning. So know the situation you're in, know exactly what your surroundings are. Always tell somebody if you're going to go. Like if you're going with a group of your friends, make sure your parents know or another buddy knows. Let them know how long you're going to be there. So if you're overdue, they can come and look for you, or they can, you know, notify the police or fire that. Oh, my son and a group of his friends were going here to go swimming. Has anything happened? Can somebody go by and check? Are they okay? He's an hour late. So all of that is really important to remember, and it's the responsibility of the individual to keep themselves safe. And we hope that they'll take this into account, take these tips, and that number 7 that we're at now will remain at 7 for the remainder of the year.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.